up, wake up, let's eat it alive. They're playing games with our minds, there's no surprise. They lie to you.
Before the fall of Rome, before the fall of Constantinople, a vast wave of migrants came from Antarctica and landed in the plains of Asia and the Middle East, and they became the people of the horse, the bow. They were amongst the world invaders, barbaric like the sea people and the wild men. These are the Turkic Hordes. The origins of the Turkic peoples lie deep in the heart of Central Asia. Archaeological and linguistic evidence suggests they emerged as a distinct culture, likely in the region of the Altai Mountains, where present-day Mongolia, Kazakhstan, and Siberia meet. The earliest known mention of the Turks appears in Chinese chronicles from the 6th century CE, referring to a group called the Gökturks, meaning celestial Turks. These were the true Black Turks who were the Aboriginals. In this original image, the Black Chinese and the Black Turks are both depicted in their original black color. These pictures are the remains of a large artifacts that have been destroyed to hide the real history, that Black people ruled the world. In the 6th century CE, a tribal chieftain named Buman Khan led a rebellion against the powerful Ruran Khaganate. The result? The birth of the Göktürk Khaganate, the first empire to bear the name Turk. Stretching from the Aral Sea to northern China, the Göktürks created a vast and sophisticated political entity. They minted coins, wrote inscriptions in Old Turkic script, and practiced a spiritual belief system known as Tengrism, worshipping the eternal sky, and eventually became Muslims. As quickly as they rose, the Göktürks fractured. Civil war and Chinese intervention split the empire into eastern and western halves. Eventually, the eastern Göktürks were absorbed by the Tang dynasty. But the western Turks, they carried the torch of the nomadic way, heading westward into Transoxiana and the Caspian plains, where they mingled with Persian, Arab, and Byzantine worlds. It was during this time that the Turkic identity began to spread, not just as a bloodline, but as a cultural force. By this time, many waves of the people who migrated from Antarctica have already settled in those areas and converted to Islam. By the 8th and 9th centuries, Islam had begun to shape the Turkic peoples. Tribes like the Karakanids embraced the faith, blending it with the steppe traditions. Conversion wasn't just religious, it was strategic. It opened the door to trade, to alliances, and to empire building. Many black sultans had only white soldiers and armies, and soon Turkic soldiers, known as gulams, and other white armies raised by the black Egyptians called the Mamluks, would rise through the ranks of Islamic armies, reshaping the Middle East forever, hijacking the name and history of the Aboriginal black people and erasing their legacy. From these white soldier slaves became many sultans of the newly founded Turkic Hordes. The Seljuk Empire, founded in the 11th century, conquered Persia and Anatolia, defeating the Byzantines at Manzikert in 1071. In the east, the Karakatans and Karzemshahs rose and fell, sometimes allies, often rivals of the Mongols. And in the far west, Turkic tribes would later give rise to the most enduring of all, the Ottoman Empire, which would stand for over 600 years. And so the Black Turks' history has been accumulated and hijacked by the slaves' armies, and just like the others, they destroyed everything related to black royals. But thanks to the Creator, we still have the proof. That is how they became who they are today. Still to this day, you will find black Aboriginal Turkish people in some area of Turkey. The colonizers always tell a false history about the Aboriginals of Turkey, that they are slaves' descendants, just like they did in America and everywhere they colonized. They hide the fact that these people are the descendants of the black Aboriginals of the lands they colonized. Black Aboriginals were in Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Dubai. All Middle East was inhabited by black people and is attached and connected to Africa. That is the truth that was hidden for years. It was all planned. They made with the West, who created the Middle East. But Allah had better plans. The word Mamluk comes from Arabic, meaning owned. In the 9th century, the Abbasid caliphs, who were a black Arab Muslim empire, began importing young boys, mostly from Turkic and Caucasian lands, into their service. Taken as children, they were converted to Islam, trained in the arts of war, and sworn to absolute loyalty. This system produced elite warriors who served as bodyguards, cavalry, and commanders. Outsiders who rose to power through skill, not birthright. In the 13th century, the Ayyubid dynasty of Egypt, who were also black people, relied heavily on these Mamluk soldiers. But in 1250, they did the unthinkable, overthrowing their masters. The Mamluk Sultanate was born, with Cairo as its heart. Their timing was perfect. In 1260, they faced the Mongols at Ain Jalut and won. It was the first time the Mongol advance had been decisively stopped, a turning point in world history. From the mid-13th to the early 16th century, the Mamluks ruled Egypt, Syria, and the holy cities of Islam. They crushed the last Crusader strongholds, rebuilt Cairo into a center of learning and trade, and controlled the lucrative Red Sea spice routes. Their unique system meant that each generation of Mamluk rulers was made up of newcomers, fresh recruits brought from abroad, preventing hereditary dynasties and ensuring a constant supply of elite soldiers. But this system had weaknesses. Political infighting was constant, with sultans rising and falling in rapid succession. The discovery of new sea routes to India weakened their trade monopoly, and the Ottomans, armed with superior gunpowder weapons, began pressing south. In 1517, Sultan Selim I of the Ottoman Empire defeated the Mamluks at the Battle of Ridaniya, ending their independence. The Mamluks did not disappear. Under Ottoman rule, they remained influential as local governors and military elites, until Napoleon's cannons shattered their power in the 18th century. Today, their descendants live in Egypt, and they have been brainwashed to think that they are Arabs. Few people know the Mamluks, but the majority don't know this hidden history. The colonizers has always used this technique to fool the old civilizations. They say they come in peace, or they fake conversion to Islam. Then they assimilate into the culture and finally hijack it and claim as their culture. And that's how the Middle East, Turkey, and Egypt was created and became white. They live extreme lives of wealth, while the aboriginal black Arabs and black Middle Eastern are suffering in the cities of Saudi, Dubai, Kuwait, and all the Middle East. In this verse of the Quran, Allah is talking about them, and hell is their punishment. This world is run by Allah, and everything is according to His plans. That's why the truth is coming out. This concludes our World Invaders series. Now we know who they are and where they come from. Thanks to Allah and His Quran for guiding us. Until next time. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.